I guess now one thing in the 7 months that you guys that were leading to your marriage, I have not had any conversation on. You have not had you guys mention Ronasio. I don't know if it's called Ronasio. It's dowry
payments,
negotiation. So, did you guys have that?
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
so let's talk about that. How was the planning? Just let's have a conversation about your relationship. Kulikuwa na shuka and then you look for the one.
No.
Our relationship was very easy. Let me say easy,
Yes.
because remember my grandfather was very God fearing, and there are rules that he set before he passed on how ladies in that family, how their dowry payment should be done. So like that part of kufunikwa was out of the equation. Like that does not happen in our family. It doesn't happen in our family. It was easy. And then I believe like prayer just makes things very easy, because for us, my shag's place is at Makueni. My in-laws are from Kirinyaga. Like it's such a huge distance. So for me, I didn't want the many trips back and forth. I just wanted to make it easy for my in-laws to just come. Like one trip, we do everything and it's done. So of course, on the onset, my uncles were not really for it. They were like, no, these are the things that they're supposed to be done. We cannot have just one trip. It has to be several trips. So what we did, like we prayed concerning it. We prayed concerning it, and we also stood our ground, and we also spoke one language. So whatever I was telling my side is whatever he was telling his side. So by the time they are communicating, both parents are communicating, like they are hearing of one language that is coming from the both of us. So now concerning the prayer and all that, I remember we prayed, and then we came back to Nairobi. Like the first one was like a visit. Then we came back to Nairobi, and I remember my grandmom called my mom and said that
you need to tell them probably what led to that prayer and that communication between your grandmom and mom.
My uncles were really adamant on whatever we wanted, and also on our set date for our wedding. Like they wanted to prolong things, so that to just prolong stuff. You know how these things usually happen.
Exactly.
We just wanted to prolong stuff. So and it was becoming a bit hard. So we decided to pray concerning the issue. And you don't go inside. You guys are left outside. So our dad that came and said what they have decided. Like this thing is not working. You guys are not going to have your wedding on that day. These are the things that you're supposed to fulfill. But us, we were like, no, we are going to have the wedding on that day. So we decided not to push them, but we decided to pray. So we were very firm, but we didn't push. So when we prayed and we left, we prayed there and then. We didn't even wait to go home. We just prayed there and then when we were told the report. So when we went, my grandmom called my mom and said that my uncle, he was a drunkard, by the way. My uncle came and said that while he was asleep, he had a voice. And he's a drunkard. He had a voice, and he really believes that my husband has a call on God upon his life, and he does not want to frustrate us because he doesn't want to deal with the consequences. So because he had refused, he should call us and tell us that he has agreed everything to go just as we wanted. So the wedding will be done on that day. And in fact, he said that we should we should say what we want. When we want the wedding to be done, how we want the dowry to be paid, what we want for that dowry payment. Like now the terms had changed to us.
Yeah.
And also my grandma said that at that time when my uncle was hearing that voice, like she saw an angelic being in her house. That being made me so happy because also like they really respect my husband. Yeah, they really, really respect my husband. So yeah, and from then onwards, like that process became very easy because now it was on our terms. So we were saying what we want, we were saying now the date. So we made 2 visits, now that first one and now that
The
last
follow-up,
one,
yeah.
the follow-up, where now we took the dowry, the everything, and so the trips were not many.
Yeah.
So it was easy. Yeah.
So the actual ceremony, I don't know what I'm thinking, because I know normally there's a ceremony where everyone is invited, but no, you didn't do that one.
We had
Oh.
like the follow. There's this that we met,
Okay.
and then
So
just
the second one was that
so
one.
the second one was the big one.
Yeah.
Cousins with gifts.
Oh, okay.
The suitcase
Yeah.
with her
Oh,
clothes being
okay,
packed with
okay.
them. Yeah. So it was that, and it was really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard you guys talk about you wanted your wedding to be on that specific day that you had chosen.
Yes.
Is there a significance to that day, or it was just a random date?
One day we were in prayer in town together, because we
Yeah.
would meet often in town just to pray in a church hall or whatever setting would allow for that. And we were praying concerning directions for where, when. So we got the where, and we also had the when.
Okay.
So as we finished prayer, we wrote the date down.
Okay.
And then when we went to that venue, interestingly, that was the only open date.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that like God was that particular.
Yeah.
So in obedience to God, we didn't want it to go otherwise.
Yeah.
That's on our part, and of course on his part also.
Yeah.
We made sure that it goes just exactly like that. Yeah.
That's really amazing. So this brings us to now to the wedding now, the wedding preparation. You already said you already had the where.
Yes.
So now I'm wondering, what was the relationship with the vendors that you had? Was it smooth? Was it easy? And were your expectations met? Like expectations versus reality.
Yeah.
You want a tent that looks like this, hexagon tent, apron, whatever.
Yeah.
Was it delivered or at a local tent? Because I've had instances where people are promised hexagon tents and it was the kawaida local tent.
Yes.
You're promised Shavari seats and it was just a plastic.
Sure.
And the seats already on the day. You can't
You can't do anything. You just have to throw the line.
I would like to know, were your expectations met? And what was the support you got from family, from friends, geared towards your big day?
That journey was just filled. I think our whole process is just miracles.
Yeah.
And our life too. Like, I think it taught us,
Yeah.
because of where God is taking us and what He's doing with us.
Yeah.
There's a great dependency on God.
Okay.
There's a great dependency on God. Like, we've learned to rely on the supernatural.
Yeah.
It has been very key in our life. So, to start with, one good thing that worked well for us is that the place we were going to have our wedding was all under one roof.
Oh.
So they were gonna cook, they had the tent, they had the seats, they had
The
everything, the decor, everything. So the only thing we needed to come with is sound,
Okay.
and ourselves and friends.
Photography.
and photography.
And cake.
And cake, of course.
Just that.
So our best couple are bakers.
Yeah.
So they sorted
They
that
sorted.
as a gift to us.
Yeah, wow.
And then that time we were both attending and serving at Truth Mentorship.
Okay.
That is Gathering of Champions. Shout out to Mr. T. He had decided.
But you really love how I sit down and drink.
I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So Apostle T, he had said any person that is getting married and they are in that community, he's giving sound. So sound was sorted.
Wow.
And then on social media, it was this guy who now has become a very great friend of ours. He had a photography company. And he had given just maybe as a strategy for his brand to be known, he had said, guys, vote. The couple that wins, they get 50% off. Photography. He asked guys with tagging people. I think we tagged the whole of Facebook. Paka Zuckerberg. We tagged people and we won. You know, Zileza, even the competitor was so far away that I even I was liking for them just for the sake. Oh Lord. Anyway, so we got the 50% off, which really worked out well for us.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to pay a lot.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, somebody offered to pay my clothing.
Yeah, my gown was also bought.
The gown was also bought.
Okay.
And funny enough, these were strange people.
Strangers.
Because for me, where I was working, I just met a client who heard that I was having a wedding, and the client said, I'm going to sort your gown. Just show me what you need and all those things. Such things were just happening.
She imported that, her tiara, her shoes, it was just sorted. It was very easy on us.
I believe when my shoes were sorted.
Yeah, I remember.
Everything from head to toe was
makeup,
sorted.
everything.
Yeah.
So now it remained to pay for food and the venue. Now that's where the miracle was, because 2 days to our wedding, that bill was not paid, had not been paid.
We had a huge chunk
of money we needed to pay off. We had done
and
deposits and some payments kidogo, but there was this balance that was remaining. And so I told her, you just be at rest about it. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
If you don't get the money by then, and God has said this is the day, what we do is communicate that people come early. We send a circular, people come early. By saa 4 tumemaliza watu waende wakule kwao. Now my dad on this other side is this is shame. This is why it cannot happen like this. We need to mitigate. Now him is thinking, because now it was a space for him where he doesn't have money, but I was telling him, it's not about you, Dad. It's about what God wants. So he had another idea, we'll do bread and sandwich, and I was telling him, we don't even get there. You will see a very colorful wedding. So as we were doing that, I remember on Thursday in the morning at 9, I called her and I told her I'm going to pray. So you won't get me online. So the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yes. Okay. So I told her, you don't worry about it. Let me go pray, and then we'll see what happens. So I switched off my phone and I began praying, giving thanks, just praying. From 9, I was just praying. It's all the goodness of God. And I think my prayer is not the thing that made it happen, but the prayer is what God used to align things and just to set up things. And at 3, I just had rest. I just had this rest and presence that came over me. And I switched on my phone under God's instruction. And when I switched on my phone, a few minutes later, this random uncle calls me and is like, you guy, yani you have, and I had never thought about this uncle. I had not even talked about him or talked to him about this thing that we had. And he's like, you guys, you're doing a wedding, you can't even tell me. Uko happy kwanza? I'm like, I'm at home. Can you meet me in town? I didn't even shower. I chomoka and I went. And then he's like, so how are things? I told him how things are, and I didn't really want to mention, because once I tell God something, I never want to put it on people again. And this has been the process even for the ministry that we run. Like, I just tell God about our needs as a ministry, and you find him just find people, locate them, and just orchestrate things. So I told him, the wedding is on Saturday, we are good, the planning is going on well. So he's like, okay. And I want to be a blessing, because I've seen your life, you've really changed, you are an alcoholic and all that, so I just want to be a blessing to you. And he gave me a bahasha. We were owing 173,000. He gave me a bahasha that had 180,000. And I told him, I don't even want to touch this money. Yes, let's go to Langata right now. You pay the money yourself. And then the whole thing was settled. And it was everything was settled. Yeah. So on Friday, now I was having my shave. We are meeting up with the boys so that we go where we are supposed to sleep. As the groomsmen and me. Now money just kept hitting my M-Pesa. My former boss, I don't know who. So by the time we were finishing, I had money for the balance for the photography, because that's the only thing that was remaining. I had money for the MC, because that's the only thing that was remaining, and change, and a lot of change, And we just saw God's supernatural provision. I remember the thing that we were praying for is that there will be a tangible presence of God in our wedding. Like, it will be so evident that God is there. And it was like there was a presence. I remember even giving words of knowledge during the wedding. I remember warning people, telling them, after we are done with the final prayer, you guys have maybe 45 minutes to exit, because it's gonna rain. Like, it's gonna rain heavy. Wow. And people are thinking it was a joke. It rained. It rained like
immediately
crazy. We left for us gate. When we left the gate, just going down Langata Road Kidogo, it rained. Wow. Yeah, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Two things are going through my mind right now. One is when you said you got your shave. I'm thinking, did you do her style or your style when you were come up?
It wasn't as bad. Let me just say.
Not my style.
Not her style, but I think the guy who gave me a shave, I remember, it's called Silas. He has a kinyozi at Yala Towers. I don't know whether the kinyozi, because I shifted. But I just told him, I'm gonna marry the girl that I really love. And he said, say no more. Acha nikuonyeshe.
Akafungua wedding collection.
Akachapa vizuri, cut, and then that was it. Yes.
I'm hoping we're going to see some of these pictures. Send us some of the photos that we can insert.
Yes.
So guys can get to see what you're talking about.
Sure.
Also, my second thought is wondering what was Mwende's reaction when you told her like everything has been sorted. How did you feel at that moment?
I was so happy. But remember before he switched off his phone to go and pray, he had called me to tell me that the guys have said that where we were having our wedding, they don't think we are going to have the wedding because we still have a very huge deficit. And on that particular day, I was having my pedicure and manicure. So I remember sitting down and telling God, we have sent out invites, and I told God, we have reached this far. There is no way you can shame me. I just said that. And he told me, don't worry, everything is going to be sorted. So I didn't even tell anyone. I didn't even tell my mom. Like, I was just silent about it, and I was like, okay, whatever is going to happen,
Happens,
fine,
yeah.
let it happen. But I knew that God would not ashame me because we had come a long way. So when he told me that everything is sorted, I think I screamed. I was home and I screamed, and my mom was like, "What's up? What's happening?" So I told my mom, you know how much deficit we had. Everything is sorted, and everything I need has been sorted.
Yeah.
And we also have like so much money is coming in, because also on my side, like now people, it's like they were waiting we clear that deficit and then things just burst open, and also like one of our desire and agreements that we had from the onset is that we were not going to borrow for our wedding, like we were not starting our marriage in any form of debt. So that having been cleared, it was weight lifted off our shoulders. And it was amazing. I remember I got there. I was very particular on the kind of flowers that I wanted, and I was like, man, I hope they execute that. So when I just got into the venue and I saw the flowers, I was like, oh my god, these people have just exceeded whatever I wanted, So it was amazing. I loved every bit of our wedding. And then let me give another testimony.
Yes, please.
Concerning our cake. Like many people came for our wedding. So many people that we didn't even know from social media, like they came for our wedding. And so the cake that was there, I remember it was a gift. Like it was not a lot, it was not big. But later, my parents tell me and my sister that my mom, my sister, my grandmom, like
my dad,
the aunties,
our pastors,
everyone went with a full cake.
Went with a box of cake.
And we were like, are you sure?
And we talked to the bakers, they were like, no, we brought for you guys. Did we? Yes, for us.
For us.
And for our parents. Like for my dad, and then for
my
her
mom.
That's
and
like
we had
3.
Decided that.
Those ones you give the
gift.
And all these people are saying, I went home with a box. And
yes. And because we were not believing, so we asked the baker, and they were like, no, like those are the cakes that we made. We were like, are you sure you didn't bring other boxes? They were like, it shocked me.
Shocking.
Because I was asking my sister, are you sure you went with a full cake? We had a full cake. And that has been the story
That's something you can't explain.
That has been a story that at our wedding there was a lot of cake. And here I'm like, a lot of cake? No.
That's a miracle.
It was beautiful.
The title of this also should be just miracles everywhere.
That's a good title.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Wow. And that's a story of us being the like just believing even when things are not looking.
Look to God. Look to God. And the thing is, have a word from God. Concerning anything you're doing, whether it's that child you're trusting for, it's that provision, you want to understand how will we pay rent for this year, just get a word from God, because that's, for us, that has been the process. That has been the process, just getting a word from God.
A difficult season in marriage, just have a word. That word carries you.
Okay. Now, I'm thinking about, you already touched on it, the financing part of the wedding. I'm thinking, did you guys have a WhatsApp group, or what was your plan for financing the wedding? For someone who's watching and at that point where we want to get married, actually he has proposed, but taking that next step to get the finances and to just go through the finances is becoming difficult. Encourage that person.
For us, we had decided that we don't want a committee because it's our wedding, man. It's our wedding. So we had decided that whoever wants to give, let them give on their own accord.
We will let people know there is this wedding happening, and they are welcome to give, but no WhatsApp groups, no committees.
No committees. And really, we were just believing in God.
Wow.
And then we just sat down and chose the things that we were comfortable having, like the kind of decor that we wanted. We didn't go for something that is extra. Yeah. Our main thing from the onset was like, do we have a pastor who is going to get us married? Yes. Do we have rings? Yes. Then that's enough.
Yes. We were totally against.
And we have a few weaknesses. You know, sometimes I think the reason as to why some people are even afraid of doing weddings, and some just decide to become mistake. Yeah. When you ask most people that I have interacted with, like, why have you just decided to stay together? Yeah. They say that we don't have the finances for the wedding, you know. Yeah. But I love to tell people that it's upon you to decide what you want. Mm-hmm. Like a wedding can be even after service. Just go to your pastor. Yeah. There are free witnesses there.
That's true.
Yeah, you can get a ring. You can just buy a ring of whatever amount you have, because like of whatever amount you have, and present it to the pastor. Invite maybe your parents and get married immediately. You know, you don't have to have an extravagant wedding.
And again, it's both ways. Because you don't have to have an extravagant, like you're breaking the bank, you're going into debt. You know, there are priorities that are much more important and binding to the marriage at the expense of having an event. And again, if you can have it, why not?
Well and good.
Splash, go loud.
Just have your priorities right.
Number one is have your priorities right. Number two, don't put pressure on people. This is about you. Number three, don't allow people to put pressure on you, because 2 weeks down the line, nobody will remember whatever happened.
Even those people who keep asking you, you're not yet married.
They will have moved on to the next one. Even those gossipers, those toxic ones, they will go to look for the next one to talk about. And you guys will have settled. So have your priorities right. Know what is really, really important and how you're going to finance that.